All successful traders have well-defined trading rules. If you're still struggling to see consistent gains, it's probably because you don't have any trading rules or you consistently break your trading rules. So if you want to know what the most important trading rule is, the answer to that is the most important trading rule is to follow your rules. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you just how close you are to becoming a successful trader. Let's go deeper. So I recently watched a video by Dr. David Paul where he was giving a speech he was giving a talk at a conference, and he said a whole bunch of great stuff. You know, he was just explaining about different factors about trade and about how you have to have a risk management system. You have to have a certain pattern that you go after. But what was interesting is near the end, he said something that just jumped out at me. And I thought it was worth repeating here, all right, and sharing with you guys. He said that every trader, all right, now this is deep here, all right, this is deep. He said every trader is 8 to 13 trades away from being successful. He said he couldn't even explain why it happens. He just have done it with trader after trader, that if you take 8 to 13 setups perfectly, where you follow the rules of your trade perfectly, he said what happens is there's a neural path in your mind that gets developed to where after you successfully take 8 to 13 trades following all your rules, you really don't have to think about following your rules anymore. All right, you would just start to trade in this fashion. And that makes perfect sense to me, because this is the same thing as when people say if you do anything 21 days in a row, you know, you'll start a new habit. So it just makes perfect sense. All right. But he said the problem is this. Or the problem is this. Most traders, probably 90% of traders, can't take 8 to 13 trades without breaking some rules, right? And that's sad, right? But that's the human part of trading, and that's kind of the trading psychology that people don't understand, because trading gets emotional, right? Especially after that loss, man. Especially after you take a loss, that's when the enemy within will show himself or herself, right? You know, when you're winning and you're coasting, you don't think you have any problems, right? But when you lose, that's when the enemy within will show up, and you're going to have to make a decision. You know, when you lose, are you going to revenge trade? Are you going to let revenge trading turn into over trading, right? Are you going to give back all your profits? You know, are you going to blow your funded challenge because you just lost one trade and then you lost all discipline, right? But many times you have that loss because you broke a trading rule. Many times if you don't break your trading rules, you won't have that loss. That loss won't trigger the enemy within, right? The enemy within won't have you revenge trading and then over trading and then blowing out accounts, right? But 8 to 13 trades isn't that many trades, but I understand how you may not make it 8 to 13 trades without breaking a trading rule. All right. It's something that you have to think about, something that you have to purpose, because it's so easy to break a trading rule, right? It's just easy to do, right? But if you can go 8 to 13 trades, Dr. David Paul is saying, you could go just like that. You could go from struggling to being successful just because you took 8 to 13 trades without breaking any of your trader rules. And of course, you have to have trader rules. I hope you have rules. Most strategies that you have learned have rules that go along with it, right? It could be a simple rule as, well, no, we're just gonna stick to trader rules. Like, okay, let me tell you what happened to me recently, right? Here's some good stuff for you. Real story. Okay, so I'm doing another funded challenge with Take Profit Trader, right? The week is going pretty good. I am $80 away from being funded. Let me repeat that so you understand this story. I am 80, or was, this happened this week. I was $80 away from being funded. Okay. I was doing the $100,000 challenge. So I was at like 5,920, right? I got to get to 6,000 profit. I was at 5,920. Okay. I'm $80 away from being funded. All right. And I'm actually killing it. It's like day 4, right? It's day 4. You got to trade for at least 5 days. So I was going to have to trade another day anyway, but I'm on day 4 and I'm $80 away. All right. So you would think being that close, you know, I ain't going to do nothing to shoot myself in the foot. You would think. Okay. So, excuse me. Sorry. So I said this. I said, all right, I'm so close. I can nickel and dime it. There's no reason to, you know, be heavy. That's pretty smart, right? Good idea. I dropped down to 1 contract. I'm normally doing 4 contracts. I dropped down to 1 contract, right? I'm like, hey, I need what, 2 points? $80? Yeah, I need 2 points, $50 a point. I need 2 points and I'm done, right? So the day rolls around, the market opens. I do my pre-market analyzing. We got a range going on, right? So before I continue, you may not notice, so I'm gonna just share. Range rules are this. If you're in a range, there is absolutely positively nothing to do until you get to the top of that range or until you get to the bottom of that range. Okay. Then you see if you get some type of rejection to fade the range, or wait to see if it's going to break out. All right. But in either one of those cases, let me say it again. There is nothing to do until you get to the top or the bottom. Those are range rules. Okay, so now the scene is set. I'm $80 away. We're in a range, right? There's nothing to do until we get to the top or bottom. Guess what I did? So I drew the range. It was a clear range, right? But I'm itching to get funded. I'm itching to be done. So I draw like a trend line. Probably, look, it was like a trend channel, right? Inside of this range. But I already know, look, there's nothing to do till you get to the top. But because I drew this channel, now I'm trying to create a second entry long off of this channel, right? Thinking we're going to the top of this range. But what are the range rules? Range rules are don't do nothing. You can always draw a trend line, a channel anywhere you want, but I knew we were in a range. It was a clear range. No, it was a range. Okay. So I'm trying to create this second entry long. Worst part about it is it wasn't a second entry long. Like it was all downhill. It had a red candle in there, but it didn't break higher. So technically it wasn't even second entry long. It gets to the EMA, terrible signal candle. That's another rule. I'm supposed to take good signal candles. No, I take that back. The signal candle was mediocre. Mediocre signal candle, bounced off the EMA. I'm saying it's a second entry long. I'm creating this second entry long. It's not there. Okay. I take the trade. All right. Bro. So let's stop right there. I broke the rule. I'm in a range. There was nothing to do until we got to the top or the bottom. Okay. Now let's continue. Do you know I lose? Obviously, right? I lose. Okay. But remember, I had dropped down to 1 contract. I lost 150. No biggie, right? No biggie. I'm still, 250, 2 whatever. I can get funded. No biggie. So now, something that I've been putting in place after a loss, because I have a gym down here in my basement also. After a loss, I'm supposed to go get 4 sets on the bench press in, right? So I don't revenge trade, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. So first I take this trade I ain't supposed to take because we ain't made it to the top of the range, right? Then guess what? I sit there and 2 candles later, it broke higher again. So I'm like, oh, I just was too early. I go again. So first of all, I've broken my range rules, right? Then I've broken my habit I'm trying to put in place after a loss, right? I was supposed to be on the bench press, not taking another trade, right? So now I'm in trade number 2. Guess what? I lose. Of course, I guess you probably could have guessed that, right? I lose. But not only did I lose, see, I was lazy with my setup because I'm using an Ninja Trader platform. You can create these automated trading strategies, right? So I should have created a strategy for a one contract trade, but I was being lazy, and my 4 contract trade, when I took the first trade, I just moved it down to 1 contract, right? Well, when I took that second trade, because I'm revenge trading, not paying attention, not being disciplined, not taking my time, I didn't realize I was back in my regular trade of 4 contracts. So I'm not down 300. I'm down 775. I'm down 775, people. I was just $80. Okay. I hope this story is helping somebody, right? That'll help soothe my pain a little bit. I was $80 away from being funded, and I break a trading rule first. Then I break a kind of more of a safety habit rule I'm trying to put in place, right? And in my head, I'm thinking I'm down 300. No, I'm down 775. So, I done messed up now. I done messed all the way up now, right? And so my point of this story is, let me say this. We made it to the top. That thing surged down. Now, I may not have been able to get in, right? But just by following my rules, I wouldn't have lost. But guess what? It broke out the bottom, made a perfect breakout pullback entry, which I would have taken. Bam. I would have got those 2 points, no problem. All I had to do was follow my rules and be patient. If I had followed my rules and been patient, I would have been funded in 4 days. Okay. That's where I want to help you guys today. I mean, it's just like that. And it's so easy. I know what the range rules were, right? But I just decided to break them, because in my head, I'm like, man, this is 2 points. I mean, this is 2 points. But I mean, I created a second entry that wasn't there. The signal candle, I can't remember about the signal candle, but I know it wasn't. I remember looking back and being like, that wasn't even no second entry, bro. It wasn't even a second entry. I broke the rule. Then if I had just went and took my break like I was supposed to, okay, and not took that revenge trade, we don't know. But maybe I come back and notice that I'm at 4 contracts. We don't know how that would have played out, but there's a high possibility that I would have said, all right, let's get set up, let's check. And I would be like, I'm at 4 contracts. There's a high chance that would have happened. All right. And I would not have. But let's look at this though. Scratch that. Even if I had missed that again, when that breakout pullback happened to the downside, I mean, I needed to make the 150 plus the 80 at that point anyway. So at 4 contracts, probably would have got the job done, because it dropped. Okay. It was a home run. So even if I had been at 4 contracts on that trade, it wouldn't have mattered, because I would have won and I would have been funded in 4 days. All right. So hope that story helps you. That's my story about breaking your trading rules. Okay. And I had traded great day 1, day 2, day 3, right? I get to day 4, decide to break a rule, and just like that, it could have went real bad. Now, I did get funded a few days later, as you see here or there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it, but I did get funded, right? I did get funded, but it took 7 days. I could have did it in 4 days, all because I broke my rule, right? It took me longer to get to my goal. Okay, so just want to put that out there that, hey, follow the number 1 rule. The number 1 rule in trading is to follow your trading rules. Okay. So now I do want to say this about Take Profit, just as a quick shout out. Another benefit of Take Profit that I do like is that once you get funded, there is no monthly payment, right? So I'm good now on that account. So I'm personally trying to stockpile these boys, right? And then link them together and really kill it. So I'm probably gonna start another challenge, because I can finish these challenges now in probably about 4 to 7 days, if I trade properly with price action. Okay. Just a shout out to Take Profit, just comparing to other, if you're still thinking about which firm to go to compared to the other ones, once you get funded, that monthly is over with take profit, and the payouts is on day one as soon as you get above your buffer. So hey, I like them. But anyway, so check it out. So what should we do, right? I say we put Dr. David Paul's theory to the test. All right, I'm definitely gonna do it after what I just went through breaking my rules, right? So hey, if you with me, can you do it, right? Who's gonna go with me? Who's gonna take their next 8 to 13 trades without breaking any trading rules? All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's support each other. So if you down for the challenge, all right, of your next 8 to 13 trades without breaking your trading rule, if you gonna roll with us, hit me in the comments today and let's put successful, right? Because I believe that it's possible for people. If you've been struggling, if them gains ain't been coming, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been getting the gains, breaking some rules, right? Where would I be? How many funded accounts would I have if I didn't periodically break a trading rule like that range phase setup, right? So hey, let's do it, right? If you're gonna roll, if you're gonna take your next 8 to 13 trades without breaking your trading rules, put in the comments today successful, right? And then, you know, when everybody put in comments and say what happened, we may have to shoot Dr. David Paul a thank you and appreciate, right? Because that's where I got it from, right? 8 to 13 days. Let's see if you can follow your rules for the next 8 to 13 days. All right. So, hey, if you like this one, hit that like button right now for your boy. I greatly appreciate it. Also, you really need to check out my last video on trading psychology because it goes perfectly with this video, right? About this 8 to 13 days, you have to realize and discover the enemy that's within. All right. And then conquer that enemy. So if you want to learn more about trading psychology, check this video out right here. And until next time, my name is JD. And as always, I wish you increase on the sudden. Bye-bye.